They gon' need a village, cause they messin' with the realest. Woo! I can let them blur the vision. Started from the bottom, but I promise I'ma break through. I ain't plan on missing. This is how I'm living every day. I'm trying to make moves, focus on the mission.
All right, hey, welcome to The Climb. Aaron Hosack here, Bryce Atagi. And man, we got a special one today. Today's guest started their climb in Overland Park, Kansas. They have five sisters, okay, graduated from Shawnee Mission West High School. Go Vikings. Member of the USA Under-18 national team, also a gold medalist at the FIBA Under-18 America's Championship. Five-star prospect, number 22 overall in the 2023 class. And the highest rated recruit in Kansas University women's basketball program history. And I believe this season, which is her freshman season, she's been named Big 12 Freshman of the Week twice this year. Bryce, what else you got?
Yeah, we asked our head coach, Brandon Schneider, to describe her in a couple sentences, and this is what he had to say. On the court, skill set and versatility are obviously what I expected, but her poise, composure, especially in closing games, is ahead of her experience level. Ability to see the entire court and make the right read, which is also, he said, really, really impressive as a freshman. Off the court is exceptional, especially when it comes to giving back and mentoring young girls. He said that they got back late from their TCU game, and she spent her Sunday off day with younger phenom girls at their facility, man.
That's cool.
So,
very cool.
Please join us in welcoming Samaya Nichols to The Climb.
Hello.
How are you doing, Samaya?
I'm good. How are you?
Freaking awesome. So, just diving in, would love to hear about your background, right? Your upbringing. Kind of the story up until this point. I think that'd be really impactful for our viewers to hear.
Okay. Well, first off, I always wanted to be a dancer. I am a hooper.
Okay.
But I always wanted to be a dancer and a gymnast. And then we moved to Overland Park, and my mom was like, let's try something different. So I tried basketball, and I was naturally good at it, Obviously, I wasn't just, awesome, but, I could dribble and I could shoot a layup. That's all you needed when you were that young.
Yeah.
And I just started playing for many AAU teams. I played for 3, KC-N1, KC Prodigy, and then Phenom as well. And I stuck with Phenom the longest and rode it all the way out to college. And I chose Kansas, and I love Kansas.
Love that.
Awesome. Well, great choice. We're happy you chose Kansas.
Me too.
Cool beginnings, making the switch from gymnastics over to basketball. What were the events in gymnastics, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, I was never in gymnastics.
Okay.
But I wanted to be so bad. But I was a dancer.
Okay.
I did drill team,
Okay.
So we'll be out in the parade for St. Patrick's Day, and it was so hot. We're in our little costumes, just dancing and walking. But the switch was, I feel like I was so young. The switch was okay, Mom, that's fine. Let's try it. And I ended up loving it.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. So, you've done your high school career, phenomenal career at that, and you had some adversities, I know, in high school, and, had to battle back from injuries and that sort of thing. What other kind of adversities early in your career before this moment did you have to fight through, and what did you learn from those?
Yes. I feel like my biggest blessings were my ACL tears because, I tore both of them, one in the left and one in my right. And you can't play basketball. And I feel like you begin to appreciate everything that the game has given you. And you get to push other girls and be on the sideline coaching and still making an impact. And learning that you don't have to always be playing the game to make an impact in a women's game.
That's cool. So you became a stronger teammate while dealing with those, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Well, we're glad you're back, and we're glad you're having a phenomenal season this year.
Thank you.
After all that.
Yeah, shout out to you for bouncing back, from that. It not only is it physically draining, but also mentally too, right? When you can't do what you love to do. So I'd love to hear more about, we talked about your upbringing a little bit. What were your early aspirations like? What did young Samaya Nichols want to be? I know you said you wanted to do gymnastics, but what was your dream job growing up?
Okay. Well, dream job, I always wanted to be a plastic surgeon. And I don't know why, because right now, nothing medical in my head will ever, I just can't do it. But I just thought it was so cool. And the cosmetic of things, like, you get to make someone else feel beautiful.
Absolutely.
I guess. That's how I see it. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with cosmetic surgery. I think if you got the money and you really want this, go get it, you know? And you're, like, someone else's happiness is in your hands, and, like, you're able to produce that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think that's about it. I always wanted to be a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
But that's not my major now. I'm in business.
Do you watch those? You watch those shows? I know.
Yes, they were so cool.
Yeah.
They were so cool.
What's
But,
the show called again?
one of them's called Botched.
Yeah,
Yes.
Botched. Yeah. I've seen
And then, like,
that.
Dr. Miami has, like, Snapchat, and you
Yeah.
can just watch his
He's
surgeries out of
crazy.
nowhere.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that.
That is great. Yeah, with a business major, who knows where that's going to take you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe down that field, but tremendous. So my outside of schoolwork, what do you kind of do? I know you got tutor coming up in about 45 minutes here and classes throughout the day. But outside of the schoolwork, what do you do to fuel your brain and kind of keep you inspired?
Okay. Well, I read a lot. No, I'm not reading, like, inspirational books. I can't say that. But I read a lot, and I feel like that relaxes my brain, you know? Being on the court, I feel like that already fuels my brain, so I think it's important that I get a distance from basketball when it comes to not being here, if that makes sense, because we're here for so many hours. So I read, I cook, I bake certain things, and I am a big-time shopper.
Okay. On what?
Yes.
Amazon?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah, if I
Online?
see it, I'm
in
gonna have
person?
to get it. Yeah.
Well, Samaya, there's a lot of pressure that comes with being great, right? Like when you want to be great, you aspire to be great. How have you like quieted out the noise? Because I'm not talking just literal noise like from the stadium, but there's a lot of hype, right? Like there's a lot of expectations to live up to. So, you're the highest recruit in program history, right? Like that comes with a lot of high expectations. So what do you do to quiet out the noise? Like how do you stay composed? How do you stay in the moment?
Mm-hmm. Well, for one, I know that I'm not the only one who feels pressure. And that helps because my teammates feel pressure as well. So we're always on the same page trying to succeed. And then knowing like who has my back, like many people could have as many opinions as they want, but the ones who are truly there for me, those are the only opinions that matter.
All right. So you're obviously in your role right now becoming an influence for a lot of younger kids, the next generation out there. In your early days, what were kind of your mentors or influencers growing up? Maybe sports, outside of sports, like who were you looking up to and kind of aiming who to model your behavior after?
Okay. I'd say I watched a lot of LeBron clips when I was younger, and I used to watch them for like maybe an hour on YouTube. Yeah. And then I'd go in my backyard and do like the exact same moves as he did in his clips. And it was really funny because I used to like count down in my head on how much time I had to do it and everything. But off the court, I'd probably say my mom, because she's just in business. And she handles everything when it comes to it. And she's a hairstylist right now, and she owns a salon. And then she also started a trucking business as well.
Awesome.
And just seeing how she navigates that and everything, I think that was like a off-the-court mentor for me.
Very cool. And yeah, you those are a couple different businesses too.
Yeah, just
that's
one and the other. Like it's
that is
so
unique.
different. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that what kind of fuels you to want to get into business?
Yes and no. Like a lot of our phenom coaches are in business as well, and they're just living. I could say that.
There you go. All right.
Yeah. All right. So Aaron and I played college sports, and a lot of people back in the day would be like, "Hey, where do you work? What do you do?" And it's like, man, we don't really have time to work, doing the college sports. And so I'd love to hear what the day in the life like is for you. you know, from start to finish? Like you wake up and kind of what's like your day-to-day look like?
Okay. So I wake up and like you want every detail, like what every
Sure.
little detail.
Yeah.
I wake up and I try to set my alarm for at least 45 to 30 minutes before I really need to get out of bed, so I can sit on my phone and like scroll through TikTok, Instagram, make sure I get to Twitter. I gotta go through everything. Yeah. And then I also have to put a show on the TV, and I'm obsessed with Vampire Diaries right now, even though I've watched it plenty of times. And then I finally get up, you know, the essential, get dressed, brush your teeth, whatever. And then it depends on how busy my day is at the gym. So I either have time to come back home and eat lunch or go grab lunch. But let's say I cooked the day before. Yep. So I packed my lunch to take to the gym with me. And then before that, before I have classes, I should have tutoring. Have tutoring maybe for an hour and 15. I normally, with my position coach, I normally book like a shooting. Yep. And right now, I don't do that as much because we're so deep in the season, so you don't want to overuse your body. But I'll normally do a shooting with her, and that'll probably be an hour. And then right after that, we go to lift, and lift is an hour. And then right after lift, we go to film, and film, depending on how you played the last game, it could be a long time.
You're
it
either
could be
looking
short.
forward to it or you're not.
Yeah, you're either scared or you're like, okay, this is fine. And then, yes, and after that, we go on the court and we fix everything we did bad on film. And we're on the court for about 3 hours. Yes. And like I said, now we're towards the end of the season, like mid-end, and we're not on the court that long because we need to save our bodies again. But after that, you have to do treatment again, and that's like cold tub or like, I forgot what it's called, but it's this compression. It's maybe game ready.
Oh,
That's what it's
yeah.
called. Game ready.
Compression ice.
Mm-hmm.
I love those.
And stretching. And then you get to go home, and then when you get home, you have to figure out what you're going to eat. Because you spent all that time in the gym, and you're like, I'm starving now. Yeah. So you either cook, or we have this thing called Red Card here, and it's basically money that they give us every single day. And it's like $32, and there's a list of restaurants that take Red Card, and you can go up there and just press what you want. And
what's your favorite?
Chick-fil-A, of course.
Chick-fil-A, there you go, solid choice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Or the smoothies from Tropical.
So you got game day tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you have like any like routines or kind of superstitions before game day? And you don't have to tell them if it's a superstition to tell them.
It's okay. I feel like I need to watch a show before I play. Because my problem is if I don't do anything and I just sit there, I will like think about the game 100%. And it hasn't even started yet. So then I'm like overwhelmed because I'm like, what if I do this? What if I do that? Let's see. I wash my face. Yeah. I wash my face. Depending on how much I sweat it within like the shoot around, I'll shower. But I'm trying to be a less superstition person because in high school it was terrible. I ate the same thing every single day.
Wearing the same clothes, doing all that stuff. Yeah, I get it.
So I was trying to be less
Well, I think you're onto something. I saw something before the Super Bowl. They were making fun of Randy Moss because he used to watch SpongeBob SquarePants before the game. That's kind of a nice little reset and kind of brings you down, right? And just relaxes you. So, hey, what were the pivotal moments or decisions that you made along the way, like during the climb? So, is there maybe one moment where you were like, all right, that was it, you know, before arriving at KU during high school? Anything jump out to you?
Yes. I tell this to them every time because they're like, I committed so late in my senior year. Well, later than normal, I guess you could say. And that's just because I swear I didn't know where I wanted to go, but I did. I wanted to go here. Yeah. But it's like you have all these opportunities to like visit these other schools and maybe get the feel that I didn't get the feel at all. Yeah. But they always were at my AAU games, right? And as you know, like coaches, they travel and like 3 to 4, you know? Yeah. So that there's now in AAU, there's like 100 and something courts, and then there's different buildings with another set of 100. And they travel in 4s and 3s so they can split up. And they never split up at my games. Like, it was all 3 of them there, like front row, like watching me warm up. Like, the game hasn't even started, and they're watching me warm up. And I noticed that.
That's cool.
And I feel like it really meant a lot to me, because it's like every one of them want to see me, and it's not just one.
Connection with your people is everything.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's a big decision, right?
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of pressure that comes with like deciding where you're going to spend the next 4 years of your life, right? And I think that's something that I've seen in college recruiting now is like, it's the coaches that take the time to get to know the player, like on a personal level, and show them that they care. Like you said, they could have came and 1 could have watched you, 2 could have went and watched other girls, but the fact that they were always there for you, that's special. So, in order to get to where you want to go in life, man, it comes with a lot of sacrifice, right? And I think that you talk about getting into business, you have to learn to sacrifice a lot of things to be a successful entrepreneur, so what role has sacrifice played in your life up to this point?
Yeah, I'd say I feel like I wasn't a typical high schooler, I spent most of my time in the gym. I had like 3 trainings a day. I'd get out of school. Sometimes I'd have to leave early, to make it to a strength and conditioning training time. And right after that, stop at Quick Trip, get a snack because you have another training, and another one after that. And I feel like I got to watch my friends, like, I feel like, I don't know, but like be normal, I guess, the normal high schooler. And after like school, they'd go hang out with their friends that they were just at school with, or they'd go to work, but I don't think I'd ever wanted to go to work if I was in high school for real. And on weekends, they just had plans, but I already knew my plans for the weekend. And I guess I got to experience some of that my senior year because I had a torn ACL, so I had PT, but then like I got to chill because there's not much you can really do. But I definitely sacrificed the full normal high school experience to be a hooper, but like I don't regret it,
For sure.
Like,
yeah, it's crazy because a lot of people would say, "Oh man, you missed this part," but it's like, you sacrifice something to get something.
Yeah.
If you don't sacrifice that, like who knows, where people end up, and like
sure.
So it is hard to let go. Like people want 6-packs, but they don't want to go to the gym and work out.
Yeah.
It's like you got to sacrifice and do things that you don't want to do sometimes in order to get what you want. So, a big question we always ask is like, what's your why? All right. So you talked about you set your alarm 45 minutes before you have to get out of bed. What is that thing that really gets you out of bed every single day? Like what drives you? Who or what, kind of inspires you to like get up and go get it every single day?
Okay. See, I remember this question from a long time ago, and I just never felt like I really had a why. Like I feel like I was always motivated by myself, like within myself, because no one else can do it besides me, and there's days that I don't want to go to class, and I'm like, one day I'll be rich, so maybe I should go this day. And I always think that when there's something you don't want to do, it's only temporary. It's not going to be an everyday, you don't want to do this because that means you're unhappy and you need to change. So.
And I don't think that's selfish at all to say you. Like I think there's other things that probably inspire you as well, but at the end of the day, you're the first person that has to believe in yourself before anyone else is going to believe in you, right? Like, and setting big goals, people call you crazy, but it's like, all right, that just gives you more fuel to go out there and prove them wrong. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that.
And it's always that thing you don't want to do that deep down inside is the thing you absolutely should do, right? Like success is on the other side of the uncomfortability or whatever you're just looking at like, I don't want to do that. So Samaya, at Southwind, we have a part of our vision and mission statement is, we believe anything is possible. So 2 questions. 1, do you believe that anything is possible?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you believe, okay, anything is possible?
I'd say my 7th grade year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
That's
there-
when I just started getting like college letters and like offers, and I was just like confused because I'm like, I was just playing basketball.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I can go to school for free? Because I was just playing basketball.
Do you remember the first letter you got?
I remember my first offer. I don't remember my first letter.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. My first offer was Texas Tech.
Okay,
And then they came shortly after, so.
thank God.
What was that feeling like when you know, because you, 3 trainings a day, 3 teams, you know, the sacrifice it took to get there. What was that moment like for like you and your family, like when you first opened that letter and you saw like, oh dang, someone believes in me and someone wants me to come to their school and be a part of their program?
Yeah, my mom was really new to it, like the recruitment process, you know. So, like, I was on the phone with a coach, and like she was there with me because she would not let me talk to a coach alone when I was younger. And I got their first offer, and like she was like really proud of me. But then I think that like that was like a mental shift for her, for me. Like, she was just on my butt about everything at that moment. It was like, okay, I scheduled this for you, because she like, I scheduled the times, but like she like paid for my trainings, you know.
Yep.
And she would just be like, make sure you're doing this, and then she'd also meal plan for me, like meal prep for me, because sometimes you're just so busy, you
No
just
doubt.
don't think about
That's
eating.
incredible.
You either don't think about eating, or like you stop at McDonald's. I mean, you shouldn't be eating before a workout, I can tell you that. Or you stop at something that's so unhealthy because you're just like, I need this right now.
Yeah, McChicken always hits
No,
the spot,
so
right?
good. It's still good to this
Add a
day.
little cheese on it, some mac sauce.
Some mac sauce, you gotta have the mac sauce.
Yes.
All right, so why do you think people bet on you? And so I'm gonna rephrase this question, and you don't have to answer it in this way, but why should, with 3 seconds left, why are you getting the last shot, right? So like, in your life, why should people bet on you?
I think I am a reliable person, and I feel like I am a person who works to get the job done, you know, and if I didn't get the job done, at least I know that person knows I tried.
For sure.
You know? So some things I feel like we've had that time in the game, like it just didn't work out, but like we tried.
100%. Yeah, I think fear is natural. Like it's natural to be afraid in those moments. But like Aaron just talked about, is like it's those moments that like, you know, I imagine you back in the day in your driveway saying LeBron as you're shooting. Did you used to say Bron or?
Yes, I just loved him. I don't know why.
Mine was always Kobe.
Yeah, but you play that moment over and over and over and over in your head, and then it comes down to it. And yeah, it doesn't always go your way, but it's all about having the courage to actually do it. You know, and I think that's what makes people special. So, no doubt.
That's the optimal anxiety, right? Like you're prepared. When you walked us through your day, and you're like, everything you're doing is preparing yourself for that moment. And the optimal anxiety, you're going to have that feeling, but as long as you've done the work and you're prepared when the moment comes, yeah, you're going to be able to rise to the occasion. I heard something the other day. Steph Curry still gets butterflies when he walks into the arena. You know, how many times does he do that over the course of a year? And he's been doing it over the course of how long? But, you know, that's a natural feeling that, man, it's tough. Once sports ends, you don't get that too often, right? So let me ask you this, Samaya, all right? Other maybe younger kids growing up right now, you know, starting their maybe junior high careers, starting their, you know, whatever it is, basketball, outside of basketball, whatever it is, becoming a plastic surgeon down the road, whatever, right? What advice do you have for those listeners that are currently starting their climb?
I'd say don't limit yourself. Sorry. I'd say don't limit yourself. I had to do like this little speech for a kid. He reached out to me. He goes to Aquinas, I believe.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, can you please make a video of the meaning of life? And I'm stuck because I'm 19 too. Like, what you mean? You want me to talk about the meaning of life? And I'm coming up with like everything. I'm just like, I don't know how to state this. And I feel like the meaning of life, and basically my response was, it's an ongoing question. Like, you can answer the meaning of life and you can say, okay, why that? Or, okay, so what about this? Like, it's not an end to the meaning of life. And therefore, I kind of put that with, like, the sky's the limit. Because you can do anything. And the meaning of life is anything to you. It's anything and more. Because to me, like, life never ends. You could be dead and still have an impact.
Yeah, 100%. That's legacy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's legacy. So speaking of legacy, when it's all said and done, okay, you know, how do you want Samaya Nichols to be remembered? Mm-hmm. Right? So, like, if people are to talk about you after you're gone, like, what do you want them to say about you?
That on the court, I was so aggressive and so mean and just brutal. And off the court, I was just soft sweetheart. Because I just feel like that's exactly what I am, you know? Yeah. A person who is able to make someone feel loved within the first conversation and feel like they belong wherever they are when talking to me or being around me.
I can attest to what you just said, because you are a beast on the court and off the court. Before this, you know, we're over there having a talk, and definitely a sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's a really good answer that you just gave people, because in life it is about how you make people feel around you, and like, you can give them feedback that maybe they don't want to hear, and it might make them feel a certain way. But if they know that you genuinely care about them, eventually they're going to come to that realization of, like, dang, what Samaya told me was right.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah,
appreciate that. Man, if I'm your teammate, that gets me excited. Like, all right, that's the Samaya we get on the court. That's pretty exciting. So, Samaya, first of all, thank you. This has been awesome. We really appreciate everything you've done. Like, you got it together, man. These are really, really good stuff, good advice for everybody listening out there.
Thank you.
Last thing we have for you, all right? Why is the climb worth it?
Because there is an end, you know, and there's a satisfied ending, I feel like. And everything's worth it. The pain, the cry, the laugh, you know, everything is worth it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samaya. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you got a busy schedule, as they heard about, but it really means a lot that you took the time to come on here, and hopefully you can inspire, you know, some other people around the country to do what you're doing. So appreciate you. This is The Climb.
Thanks for having me.
I can let them blur the vision. Started from the bottom, but I promise I'ma break through. I ain't plan on missing. This is how I'm living every day. I'm trying to make moves, focus on the mission. Ain't no competition anyway that they gon' break you. They gon' need a village. They gon' need a village, cause they messing with the realest. Woo!